This shit ain't nothing to me, man.
This is Boxing Before Dark.
Boxing.
Boxing.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.
Before.
Boxing
Before
Dark. This is Boxing
Before Dark.
All right. Are we ready to boogie?
Absolutely. We've been
Ready.
boogieing.
We've been boogieing already. Boxing Before Dark. Holy shit, we're back. Did you think we left? No, we're just on a little break. Little hiatus.
Leo lives in a third world state, so
Yeah,
we missed a
apparently.
week.
Yeah, it was this weird situation with internet. It was it's really nerdy. We don't really have to get into that. But we're joined by somebody new. My man Jacob. Welcome.
Hello. I'm very happy to be here. First and foremost, I've been listening, ever since I found out about you guys, and obviously I've been on the Discord as well, making myself known. So yeah, pretty keen to get amongst it and just chat boxing for a few hours on the weekend.
Absolutely. All right.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
We have insider knowledge with a real boxer.
Yeah,
instead
this
of
is
us.
actually good insight.
I'd limit how much I'd call myself a boxer because I haven't fought yet, but at least I've been on the unfortunate end of a few pretty rough punches in my time, so I've been hit by what I'm seeing.
Well, let's get into. Since we've been away for a little bit, let's get into some. Let's reach a little bit way back, a little into the way back machine, and we're gonna go back to July 19th because this was a busy day, and we fucking missed it because of technical difficulties. It's no fun. Let's start with Matchroom at the Star at the Frisco. The Dallas Cowboys training arena, I think it is.
Yeah, that was a crazy location.
Yeah, definitely. Some stuff coming up from the bottom here. Nishant Dev gets a stoppage in 6 over Omar Rosales. If you're not paying attention to Nishant, don't worry, because I will.
I like him. He's got it. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty damn good for coming
I
out of
think
the
watching
Emmys.
him. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like watching him in the Olympics and how his movement is as well is something really impressive. It'll be interesting to see how much he's getting stoppages, but I don't know how much his actual power itself is going to hold up at different stages. But in terms of skill level, he looks absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
I think he's translating a lot better than people expected him to early on, because you see a lot of guys do pretty well in the amateurs, and no one really knows how much it's going to translate to the pros. But yeah, like I say, he's looking pretty good, man. And I see why you're paying attention to him. We all should.
I think since they switched to the 10-point must system for scoring, that's when
It helps the amateurs.
It helps the amateurs
for sure.
transition a lot better. Like Andy Cruz looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
He's-
really
yeah.
hard to score 10-point musts sometimes. Like, there legitimately are, for me, some 10-10 rounds. They're super rare. But if you
Yeah.
have to pick somebody, it really changes your scorecard.
It really does. Especially because a lot of it depends on what a judge values as well. Because two people can see the exact same round, right? And they can watch it. They can watch it 10 times over. They can see the exact same things. But based on their understanding of the sport, they'll value things completely differently. And
I
that's how you
guarantee
end up-
me and you would have different scorecards. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we probably would. And, my scorecard compared to a lot of my mates at the gym and all that would be completely different because, if you're someone who values high-level pressure fighting, you're probably looking at someone like, we're just going to assume that it's not this exact fight. But just as an example, you look at Thorne versus Pacquiao, where one of them's landing much cleaner punches and much more of them, and one of them's just pushing up, being aggressive, getting in their face way more. For some guys, they value the latter. Some guys value the former. And so we get these weird things in scorecards. And I always think about it as well with a more high level example, I suppose. Not that my goat Jeff Ford is not high level, but if you look at Honel Whitaker versus Oscar De La Hoya. that's a pretty controversial fight amongst some people nowadays, because they were both doing different things. You know, have some people say, oh, well, you know, Delaware couldn't land anything on Whitaker, but then you have other people that are like, oh, well, Whitaker wasn't hitting him back; he was making him miss but not countering. So why should he get rewarded?
You can't win on defense. You can't win a fight if you don't hit anybody.
That's 100% it, and that's why I respect, you know, different takes on, you know, judging and scorecards, because you really never know where to judge values. Some guys will look at ring general flips, some guys will look at just landing.
Some
It
guys
really
will look at who
comes
paid them the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at
That's
the bank
another
account.
thing. There's definitely some
Fucking
places
Tim
like that.
Cheatham.
Yeah, oh, geez, it's a crazy sport. It's a wild west out there. But yeah, it can really be anything.
Let's move up. Omari Jones, who I believe was an Olympian for the U.S., gets a stoppage in 3 over Alfredo Blanco. No big deal. Also, no big deal. Austin Williams. Boo this man. TKO 9 over who? Question mark. Exactly.
Has he gone back to his better nickname yet? Austin?
I believe so. I believe he's Ammo
Okay.
again.
Ammo is so much cooler than Tiger Williams.
Tiger
Tiger Williams has been done to death.
I think that goes hard.
Tiger?
So to me,
Tiger, yeah.
Tiger Williams is always going to be an NHL player that 99% of boxing fans have never heard of. So.
Oh yeah, true. I just thought it was like a phrase that sounded cool, to be honest. I think it's
He
the coolest
had
sentence,
the
yeah.
most penalty minutes in a season for decades. So, anyways.
Moving up. Unless you have anything to add on Ammo, do you want to dunk on him a little bit for being a little bit leaky?
He is leaky. He's always been leaky. And everybody keeps telling us that, well, he'll tighten up when he has to.
Mm.
So I guess we need to see him against somebody he has to.
Yeah.
Like, how old is Ammo? He must be getting to where they should step him up, right?
He's 29.
They need to start putting him against better competition.
Well, when they did, he got knocked out.
Yeah, well, then maybe he's just not so good.
He's the only hope that we have for middleweight here in the U.S. We don't have anybody.
The U.S. copium is madness.
Yeah, well, can't help it sometimes.
Middleweight's a funny division because you look historically at some of the fighters that you've had in that division. It's usually been stacked, but you look, especially for Americans, it's in a strange place.
Anyone who's any good moved up to chase Canelo money, I think, is what it is right now.
Sans Janibek.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
like
Janibek knows he's not getting Canelo money because he's high risk, low
not cool.
reward.
He's not cool enough.
Yeah.
You know who was cool? Diego Pacheco. Cool under pressure.
Was he?
Cool under fire. I'm really trying to glaze him here, because
I really like, or I want Diego Pacheco to be really good.
I do too.
But
and
He looked nice.
I thought he pitched a really mature game. Didn't succumb to a lot of Macumbi's pressure, which, if he was a little bit more raw, like he was a few fights ago, then might not have gone as well for him.
true. And maybe Macumbi's a little better than he gets credit for.
I think
like
so.
people are like, oh yeah, he had Plant on the ropes, but Plant's washed. And I don't know if Plant's that washed. Like, he's past his peak, but
Yeah. The boxing is a sport where people are quick to call someone washed, and
super quick.
yeah, very, very quick. And I think it's because there's obviously that obsession with not losing a fight. But if you look at, you know, this like Plant, Macumbi, Pacheco, if you look at all of this, Caleb Plant is still going to be a high-level fighter. Like, it's not as if he is at a point where George Kambosos might be, for example, where he's, from a business perspective, he is at the end of his run because he's racked up that amount of losses, And I look at his and how he went against McCumbee. He still got the job done, but I think if you're looking at the actual boxing that's going on there, I think they both made some pretty good account of themselves. I think McCumbee impressed me a lot more than I expected, and that's why I do give Pacheco credit, because he did go out there and do what he did. Because I think, McCumbee, I think he's at a higher level than people tend to give him credit for. I think that's a better win for any boxer, not just because of how much I love Caleb Plant. He's one of my favorite boxers, but also because if you look at Pacheco and the way that he handled that fight, like you said, he pitched an incredibly mature game. Like, he came in with the game plan that he needed to. He used all of his attributes properly, and especially because McCumbie's a tricky guy at times. You gotta be a certain type of good to be able to put enough of a pressure game on against Caleb Plant, because he can move. Because Caleb can really move. So if you are able to do that to him, and then Checo has that sort of fight against McCumbee, I just think that's pass marks all around, personally. I don't know, I'm probably not being too critical enough for a podcast, but I just do think that that's pass marks all around. They all handled that really well.
Well, McCumbee clearly has power, and that's something that I don't think Pacheco's had to deal with before. Maybe I'm misremembering some of Pacheco's fights, but none of the guys on his box rec really stand out as being, oh shit, he can punch. And people can say anything else, but McCumbee buzzed Plant a few times. McCumbee hurt him.
And Plant, the guys that have hurt Plant historically, you look at some of his fights and the level as he is, Canelo obviously being, he whooped him, man, especially once he just figured out his rhythm and everything. But McCumbee sticks out like a thorn a lot more, because a lot of the other guys that he beat, for his world titles, he was, in my opinion, I was watching some of his fights again last night, he was just cruising, Caleb was just, they couldn't hit him.
But he has a lot of names that are kind of garbage. Who is Caleb True? True? I don't even know how you say that now. Yeah, that guy. Or Vincent Felgenbutz, or Mike Lee, or Jose Uskatgo.
Felgenbutz fight. A lot of these
Leo,
guys,
you're the name guy. I have no idea how you read these things.
Boxing is broad, man. That's the thing with the way the belts work in interim belt. There's so many different belts, man, that by the time that you get to tracking who all the champions are, there's just so many of them.
Oh, okay. This is a complete derailment to settle a Discord argument. Leo, who has the global belts?
WBO.
Global? Okay, thank you. Fuck, I couldn't find it earlier today, and people are like, no, global is the world titles. No.
WBO
no.
Global.
Yeah,
Straight up global.
Damn. I added you in the Discord and you didn't answer. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Absolute derailment.
It's good. Moving up to Bam stopping Pumelala Kafu.
I'm still not getting his flowers, and it makes me sad.
I think because Kafu was really tentative and really timid, rather.
But Kafu's a counterpuncher. I don't think it was a terrible game plan, but it looked bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Bam has better movement. So Kafu tried to completely negate the movement by just camping in the corners. Kafu was looking for a Gabe Rosado type knockout. Rosado against Beck is what he was going for eventually, and it didn't work. And I was a little disappointed. I did think this would be a more exciting fight.
I was expecting more fireworks.
Yeah, Kafu is still a really good boxer, and at the very least, Bam had him scared enough. He felt he couldn't box in the middle of the ring. I think this is a good win for Bam, and I think nobody's going to recognize it because they don't know who the fuck Kafu is. It's the problem that everyone at the lower weight classes has.
I like the win. I think it's good. But Bam,
It's a good win.
I reserve this term for like a very select few. I try to keep the sanctity of it a little bit, but Bam is something special.
Yeah.
That guy
But-
is special.
But that's a problem in itself for boxers. When you make everything look easy, everyone assumes your competition is bad. Bam
Inoue.
is suffering from success just like Inoue did at like 118, 122.
Inoue still does.
Inoue
That's
still
the
Yeah.
does.
thing.
well,
I think he does. I think in the eyes of a lot of people, and like, because you see it a lot of the time with the people talking about pound for pound rankings, and getting involved in pound for pound conversations, I hate that so much just because I think like it's so hard to actually. There's such a fun talking point, but I wouldn't.
It
take
is.
seriously.
But people
Develop-
also fucking never watch the lower weight classes.
That's
So
exactly
when
it.
I throw out a name like, well, Bam's famous now, but when I throw out a name like Colazo, people are like, who the fuck's that? Who's he beaten? And I'm like, he's beaten a bunch of really good guys you've never fucking heard of. Like,
Yeah. Well, like I said,
just
many
because
such
I'm a
names-
degen for the midgets doesn't mean that they're not good. It just means you don't know who I'm talking about. I get called out in bars constantly, and they're like, name 5 boxers. And I name people in 105, 108, and they're like, I've never heard of any of them. And I'm like, fucking Google it.
Mhm.
Like,
If you can spell that
Mhm.
random ass Thai name,
yeah, well, I skipped the
Oh,
TIE
man.
fighters because I can't spell them either.
I can't spell them.
I
I actually got into boxing through doing Muay Thai, so.
oh,
Nice.
so
That's
it
still
shouldn't be
fun.
too difficult for you.
Oh no, it's very
Ah.
difficult. That was what I was
Do you
trying
watch
to say.
the one Friday night fights? It's my new favorite
I
thing.
try to. I actually.
Me and Zoe
I
watch
don't-
them and hang out on the Discord. It's super fun.
I don't know if it was in Friday Night Fights, but my guy Tyson Harrison, he's from my gym. He just recently won his fight and won championship. I just want to talk about that for a second. Very proud of him. Obviously, he came out of our gym in Brisbane, Tyson Harrison, and yeah, he fights on one championship. So I absolutely love watching, and obviously the higher level guys as well, like Rob Tang, Tawan Chai. I love watching them train as well.
Nice.
Still
Yeah,
a
no, that's-
student of the game.
Oh, I have to be, man. It's just too fun. Like that's how I got started with, and there's many such cases like that too. Like I think it was Fishko Tenshin Nasukawa. He was a kickboxer, wasn't he?
Ah, fuck. Yeah.
he was.
He was. Kickboxing,
Yeah.
not Muay Thai.
Yeah, kickboxing. I always love bringing that up as examples. It's so funny seeing the different idiosyncrasies of them too. Because a lot of times, like for example, when I was sparring this morning, those usual Saturday sparring sessions, there's a lot of Muay Thai fighters that come there to work on their boxing, and you can tell because they've got such a distinct guard.
Yeah, well, and the
Right.
stances are very different.
Yeah,
Like
No,
the
you're-
footwork is different.
so different. I think that's what that was my biggest struggle as a boxer early on. Because that's probably
Changing your
something
feet?
different. Yeah, no, because I was, I was always trying to think of, I got to check a kick, but in boxing, no one's kicking me. I hope.
Except Nick Ball.
Someone will do it. But yeah.
Which fight was that,
that's-
Leo? The Goodman fight?
Which?
Nick Ball
Kick
with the kick?
He kicked someone?
Yeah, it was Sam Goodman, right?
I think you're right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Come
On
on,
this topic
guys.
of Sam Goodman, I just want to say the facts that because when they released the sparring videos, right? My guy he had.
Oh
the
no,
belt
it's
over his
TJ
arm.
Doheny. I had the wrong
Oh,
Inoue
yeah.
opponent.
Yeah,
Nick Ball
and
kicked
then,
TJ Doheny.
Oh, I remember watching that fight. So he's such a weird fighter, bro. Weird to watch. He's got like this weird rhythm adjustment. It's fun to watch, but I get why, in a way, kicked him off the way he did.
Well, anything more for Bam?
No.
Ben is so good.
Yeah. one of my favorites right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Seeing a guy that fights with that high guard in a low weight division as well is the absolute best thing in the world because those guys are so fast and twitchy. So, one moment they throw something and the next they've already popped back into guard and it's just like, bang, they're already gone. That's crazy. Those guys just move so well. I wish I could move like that. I'm unfortunately a bit heavier than that, a bit taller, so I can't model my fight off them too much.
All right, let's move up. Fucking PBC on Prime. Just some quick ones. Stop me if you need to. Gary Allen Russell stops Hugo Castaneda in 10. Mark Magsayo still doing it. UD over Jorge Mata.
I want to just a little bit. What the fuck happened to Mark Magsayo? Because I was excited about him, and then he just disappeared for fucking ever. And this is basically being disappeared. I mean, he's undercard on.
Yeah, it's on the prelims.
Yeah. Like, he's not that bad. I don't understand why he got delegated to bullshit. Or is he bad and I just like him?
He's not terrible.
No. There's lots of
Maybe it's just maybe it's just me and my like Filipino bias, but I like Mark Magsayo. Well, and he trains with Freddie Roach, which I also have a bias for, so.
Same. Definitely same.
Anyways, that's all I wanted to bring up. What the fuck happened to Mark Magsayo?
Good question. We'll have to see if he has any fights coming up, because usually if guys don't have much win, as long as they keep fighting, they can change promotions and they kind of pop back up sometimes. I mean, look, if some of these people that are still fighting, so there's definitely a chance.
After the loss to Brandon Figueroa, he kind of went back down to the regional scene, kind of, and he was fighting on the Thunder Studios cards. Marv Nation.
I guess he did have 2 losses in a row, but I just don't think he's that bad that should delegate him to garbage.
Losses are to Ray Vargas. Say what you will, but he's still pretty decent.
And Brandon Figueroa is good. Like,
or is he?
Figueroa can rumble. No, he's world class. Like, even if, like, for example, obviously he's not fighting at a world championship level at the moment, but even just being in the mix of some of those guys, if you lose to someone like that, that kind of does put a bit of a buffer. Because, I mean, put it this way, right? Like, imagine that you're losing to someone who isn't fully at that championship level, and you're trying to convince a promoter that you'll be at that championship level if your loss is to someone who wasn't fully there.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. Because I think about it, because there's some guys that they're just like so close but no cigar against some genuinely, top level opponents. Maybe it's just a style matchup or whatever, but they've still got the skill, like, you mentioned in this case. But there's just so many times where, because of that and having that loss, because it's such a record sensitive sport. So
it is, and I hate that because it makes people not want to push themselves.
Yeah, correct. It brings too much of a business sense looking for the O, and I don't think it's necessarily something that has to be in existence, because you can see some fighters kind of coming away from that, like the fact that Manny Pacquiao was back and got a world championship shot. Obviously, he's a special case because he's an all-time great, but the fact that he was even back, you look at his resume, he's had some losses, because it was the generation that was there during Floyd, they had absolutely zero issue taking some losses. Look at De La Hoya, Hopkins.
I've said this a million times. Floyd Mayweather Jr. fucked boxing. He was terrible for the sport of boxing.
I don't even think it was his fault. I just think he was that good. Like, I think there was a point
I
where a lot
I
of these
think the
guys.
way he promoted himself and the advice he gives younger fighters
Oh,
is
for
his
sure.
fault.
Oh
I don't
no,
think it's his fault for being that good, but like we didn't see the same problem after Rocky Marciano, right?
that's
Like
true. Like,
I think Floyd Mayweather was enough of a media star and like an influence outside of the ring that he fucked it.
mm,
But I also just don't like him, so
that's
yeah.
that's completely respectable, to be honest. I think he's an absolutely deplorable human being, which shouldn't really have to need much saying, but yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
David Picasso, majority decision over
fuck David Picasso.
over Kinosuke Kameda. Is this one of the Kameda clan that
I'm not
lost
sure.
their
I
shit?
have to go look at his face. Oh my god, the Kamedas are crashing out. If we have time, we have to discuss it.
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure this is one of the Kamedas. He looks like one of the Kamedas.
Moving up, Brandon Figueroa UD over Joet Gonzalez. So it's interesting.
No.
What?
Number one, that should not have been unanimous.
Yeah.
I would be okay with Figueroa winning, but some of those scorecards are fucked.
Yeah.
That was a close fight.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get at. Was like this is a guy that's like tailor made stylistically for someone like Brandon Figueroa to have a really emphatic win to remind the viewing public like I'm still Brandon Figueroa despite Stephen Fulton kind of clowning on me a little bit.
Which is
Enjoy,
clearly
man.
what they had planned, but Joet Gonzalez did not come to lose.
No.
Joet Gonzalez did not get the script. I thought that was a super close fight. I always cheer for the underdog, so I thought Joet probably won by 1 round, but my scorecards are often fucked. But it was not as wide as the official scorecards. It just wasn't. Like, it had to be closer than that. The 115, 113, of course, is good, but I really... The one guy only gave Gonzalez the first 4 rounds and gave the last 8 to Figueroa. That is not how that fight played out.
Did you figure that had to have been filled in ahead of time?
Like, that's not what that fight was. Everybody giving Figueroa the last 4 rounds is a little suspect to me. Like, that was clearly, okay, we can't. Okay, but everything close goes to the A side. Or am I crazy and I was just cheering for Joet Gonzalez because I like him?
You said one of my trigger words. A side. Ugh. B's only, please.
But that's what happened in this fight. Like, maybe you could convince me. Maybe. But you have to be biased to make the convincing.
To be
Or
honest,
maybe
the way I
not.
see it, when it came back to that last 4 rounds, I think they were just looking at who was imposing themselves. I don't know about the arrangement of the scorecards, but I do think there was that period in the middle of the fight where it looked like Pacheco was just it was fighting his fight. You know, that's essentially the phrase. It was a guy who looked like, even if he wasn't landing every clean punch in the world, the way that he was dictating the tempo and whereabouts they were doing their boxing just looked like it was completely in Figueroa's control. And I think that's probably something they would have valued. Whether that means the scorecards ended up the way they were, I don't know. There's probably some reason the judges done that, but I think I understand why it ended up with Figueroa winning, but I also understand why the scorecards themselves were the way, because I don't think it was massively wide. But at the same time, you know, this is a sport where you can have a really, really close fight and a really, really wide scorecard just based on how few of the rounds are interpreted. Because a wide scorecard doesn't mean that it wasn't a close fight, you know, and vice versa. Yeah, you can get
My
some really
problem,
tight scorecards.
my problem with this one is that it really feels like every close round on every scorecard went to the A
Mm,
side.
you get them sorts of
But
five saves.
and I like Figueroa. Like it's not that I'm against them, but like they're so uniform. It's sketchy.
Yeah. No, it never has to be like or dislike of a fighter. Sometimes it's just the way that a certain, promotion is run, or the way the way things just look like they're going.
But also Joet Gonzalez gets fucked constantly.
That's what he's
Yeah.
there
Like-
for. That's what he exists to be.
He's there to get fucked. I understand that, but he tries so
Yeah.
hard. And he does such a good job. Like he is one of those B-sides that will always be there until the end of the fight trying to win it. And they fuck
He's
him
good, man.
every time. And I don't even just mean with losses. I just mean on the scorecard. Like they don't appreciate him. Makes me
I
sad.
thought he made a really good account of himself. Figueroa is tricky. Like I think that's the thing. Boxing is very much a sport of levels because you look at, for example, Fulton, right, and how he looked against Figueroa recently. Fulton looked incredible. Now then you look at Fulton versus Inoue, and then you look at Figueroa versus Gonzalez, and you can see there's just so many different levels at play here, right?
That's
And
true.
it just means it's a sport where you do get guys like Gonzalez, unfortunately, where they're good fighters. Watch them, they're good, but they do find themselves being the B side
Yeah,
because they're
they're
sort of like the B side of the B side, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're gatekeepers, even if they're not as bad as most gatekeepers.
that's the term. That's the term.
You're gatekeeping elite instead of gatekeeping world level. Like those are
Pretty
kind of two different gatekeeps.
And man, in a sport like this, if you're getting money for doing that, you're winning. Because it's a
Yeah.
dangerous sport. You want to be compensated appropriately.
Fair enough, but I still feel bad for Joet Gonzalez.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all because you see that, and he did what you want a fighter to do. He definitely gave every account of himself that he could, and especially Figueroa. He's got the kind of style that makes it difficult to fight him. So you don't particularly to go in with that game plan to have been able to make it look like he had the sequences he did against Figueroa, who's a bit longer of an fighter from memory. So to go
Yeah,
against him,
Figueroa's got a bit of a Fundora build. Not quite as bad, but
yeah, him and Pacheco are similar in that sense, I think, in terms of where they're really aggressive infighters, pressure fighters mostly, and they're very long, and they're such awkward opponents, right? And especially they're awkward for pure boxers, but they're even more awkward if you're a pressure fighter yourself because you see that long jab and you're trying to get away from it, and then instead of coming off the back foot or avoiding that, you got this guy who's just coming straight at you and just throwing combos. So that was an entertaining fight, I think, above everything else, because they both wanted to bring that fight there. I thought Gonzalez was boxing really nicely a lot of the time, but yeah.
that leads nicely into the next fight, though, because Fundora found a fucking jab. What is this?
This is mythical status.
So good.
I've been saying Fundora with a jab is mythical status. He might be unbeatable now. Him getting into Harvard has made Fundora unbeatable.
That's such insane lore as well. Not just
It
any
really
degree,
is.
but this guy's studying engineering, a 6-year engineering degree at Harvard,
Fucking Harvard? That's crazy.
while being in a sport that actively churns your brain cells out. Like that's so awesome. And my favorite fighters, like you said, Fundora, he was a completely different fighter there. I think there was so many talking points made in the media about this would be a different 10 because he wouldn't have the cut. I don't think people took into account that Fundora, he's been in the lab, man. Like he
I
hasn't
didn't
been sitting
expect
at
this.
home. Oh,
I didn't expect Fundora to evolve like this. Like, this is Fundora making bigger changes than Fundora has ever made. Everybody always
Yeah.
talks shit about Fundora not using his size, and he suddenly, I mean, it fell apart. Tim did pressure him enough that Fundora went to base.
Back to
I don't.
Mongoloid system
Yeah, I don't.
settings.
Thank you. I don't know how to say it nicely, but like, he made Fundora forget that he's not stupid.
Yeah.
Like, Fundora has been fighting stupid. He's been infighting as a fucking 7-foot tall guy. Like, that's dumb.
Pretty crazy.
But Tim made him forget that he had a jab. Tim made him forget that he could keep him on the outside. I'll let Jacob give his thoughts on this one, but I think I might be right. I think Tim might just be kind of mentally broken.
Yeah, I've had a few weeks of thinking about this one. So, because as a segue, the first thing is that, first and foremost, Fundora evolved a lot. And the Fundora that they had film on heading into that camp is not what they got on Fight Night. So
100%. I agree.
Absolutely.
And that is a massive credit to Fundora, because if you look at the greatest boxers of all time, they have one thing in common, and it's that they've got plan A, B, C, and D. Even if they're not implicit fans, they've got the skills in the kit bag, you know, and that's what you need to do to be on that level. And Tim didn't really have that plan B, which one of my favorite points on him not really having that plan B is if you look at one of his favorite fighters who he actually does try to emulate in terms of fight style, and it's Triple G. You know, he likes to put the pressure on in that high guard and all that. But the difference between him and Triple G is with Triple G's amateur career and what he led into, he always had that plan B. You know, he can have that fight like versus Lemieux where he just completely picks them apart with a jab.
Yeah, goes back behind the jab. It was a beautiful thing, that one.
Exactly, and that's how it is. You know, I think one of my favorite boxers of all time, Andre Ward, I always think the same thing. I watch a lot of his fights, and he has had so many different looks he's given to fighters. You know, whether he picks a point where he's like, okay, we're going to be infighting today, or we're going to be popping the 1-2. There's so many options in his kit bag, and that's what Fundora brought. He was able to adjust. He knew what Tim was going to struggle with the most. Because Tim, he can deal with a jab sometimes if he's able to move in after the jab. If the jab's followed up with something else, like against Murtazaliev, that's where we get the issue, because it's the same thing that comes up in his pad work where there's all the footwork issues, especially, you know, he comes across, he might be crossing his feet over, he mightn't be balanced, he doesn't keep his balance right. There's so many different little small details that typically in other boxing economies, for lack of better words, they do get on top of. But yeah, that's the thing. Fundora, he understood at all times if he pops the jab up that he needed to keep that 2 on the back, because he wasn't just like Devin Haneying that thing, you know, like he was loading up on some combos. He was making sure that he got Tim's respect, and that's when Tim realized he was going to have to take a shot if he was going to land a shot. And once Tim realized that, he started going well. But I think the reason that the fight, you know, stopped when it did was because he just was taking that many shots. And it was brilliant. It was an outstanding use of his skill set. And he should be able to keep his inside game and his pressure game along with his career as well. Because the fact of the matter is, if you're a lanky guy who can both pressure fight and fight on the outside, that makes you that much better. Like, I think about
100%.
Hitchens, you can't get on the inside of Hitchens, and you don't really want to. Same as, you know, again, I don't know why his name eluded me. He's one of my favorite fighters, Junto Nakatani. You don't want to get on his inside particularly either. You know, it's not.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
I personally think his uppercut is good enough to keep people away.
I think part of why Nakatani kind of lost his cool against Nishida is because Nishida was beating him on the inside.
It's to the body.
Oh, it'll happen. Yeah, he's got a really long torso. That's always going to be there.
I just mean, like, this is months ago on the podcast, but Nakatani did not respond well to Nishida getting in and having success. Nakatani kind of threw a tantrum like a fucking child, in my opinion.
That was really funny.
I still like Nakatani, but like he's definitely gone down on my list a lot.
I think give it time. I think when I say Nakatani and on the inside, I mean more, he will work your body. Because
but so the thing with Fundora is he's okay taking shots on the inside. Yeah. Like Fundora is happy fighting on the inside, taking them or giving them.
Yeah.
But Nakatani isn't. Like, so
yeah,
I've
okay,
heard. So it's not my theory. I think it was maybe Chris Algieri. Anyways, doesn't matter. One of the podcasts I listened to, they thought maybe the Tim Tszyu stoppage happened when it did because I was surprised. I thought Tszyu had his best round right before they stopped it. And the theory on the podcast was that Tim Tszyu kind of blew his load. Like he gave his all and realized that he didn't hurt. Well, he didn't hurt Fundora, and even if he gets on the inside, Fundora's a good inside fighter. So I fucking took a bunch of damage and extended all this effort to get to the inside to just have a harder fight somehow. Right? Like, it was demoralizing. He got past the jab, he put in all this effort, and he had some success. But when he got there, he was met with even more resistance than he had just overcome. And that kind of mentally broke him more than physically. Although I do think Tim was taking damage. There's no doubt about that. But it did seem weird to me that he quit after the round he had the most success. But this is something I've said before, and I'll say again. If a fighter can't trust their corner to call it when they should, they'll quit. Yeah. It's not just a Tim Tszyu thing, but if you don't trust your corner to protect you, you'll protect yourself.
I mean, they definitely don't have a track record of protecting it.
Exactly. After that first Fundora fight, Tim can't trust his corner. Like, okay, Jacob, we've never asked you because it's your first time on the podcast. What do you think of that first fight? Like, that should have been a no contest. That fucking cut, somebody should have stopped it. If the doctor isn't going to do it, which I think was ridiculous, the doctor should have fucking stopped it. The ref should have stopped it. But if they don't stop it, the corner has to.
Yes. Somebody has
Tim's corner fucking failed him. Yeah, I mean, the others failed him too, but he's not their person. So, like, the corner failed him. He can't trust his corner ever again. Who's the Mexican, Leo? He was in an interview straight up saying, I don't trust my corner to stop it, and everyone called him a quitter.
I don't know who you're talking about.
No, I can picture his face, and I have no idea what his name is, and I'm just going to sound racist if I get it wrong.
Yeah, see, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
It wasn't Mikey Garcia. It was... But he kind of looks like Mikey Garcia. Maybe a little older. No, I'm going to get fucking tore apart. Fuck, I can see his face. I have no idea what his name is. Anyways, they called him a quitter. They called him a quitter a couple times. And after he retired, he said, well, it's because that first time I just took way too much damage and my corner didn't stop it, and I could never trust them again.
Yep.
I feel like Daniel Dubois might be in a similar situation because they wouldn't pull him out for his eye. And that eye was fucked. It was right. In my opinion, it was right of Daniel Dubois to step out of that Joe Joyce fight. There was no reason to keep taking damage to that eye.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's hard to tell because the fact is, so many injuries are invisible. You don't really know until a fight finishes to see what condition a fighter is in. And I think about Shigeoka a lot in this instance too because,
well, that was the JBC. He should have never been able to fight again.
Yeah.
Or not within 10 months of a fucking skull fracture. That's ridiculous. Against the same guy?
Yeah, it was crazy. There was a lot going on there. But on top of that, I thought in terms of his boxing and his body language, he looked like he was good that last 2 rounds. And I was like, yeah, he's
in that fight.
And you would never have known.
But given his medical history, he shouldn't have been in that fight at that time.
Oh, not at all. I'm just using it as an example to show, sometimes you have absolutely no idea when there's,
Anaguchi, too.
Yeah.
I really don't blame Anaguchi's corner.
There needs to be a lot more normalization of having fights stopped for medical reasons. But that's my take on the sport. I understand that it's the brutality that attracts people to it, but there's a skill level in boxing that can also be emphasized. But yeah, it's definitely something.
Anyways, I can see we're running way over time.
You want to know what was also something?
What was else?
It was Manny Pacquiao getting a draw with Mario Barrios.
Jesus.
My God.
Imagine that, a draw in 2025.
I really thought he won that, man.
A lot of people do.
If you
Barrios
I'm not even
was way too nice though. I'm not defending. I'm not defending the draw or saying it shouldn't have been a draw, but Manny would take a body shot, get hurt, step back, and do the schoolyard give me a second. And Barrios did. And the ref was like, what the fuck are you doing? There were multiple times the ref looked at him and was like, you guys can still punch. Why are you stopping?
The punches aren't on the script.
Jake fight.
I really think a disrespectful, not even disrespectful, but just a
irreverent
Barrios. Yeah, that Barrios could have stopped Manny to the body easy. Barrios was giving him too much respect. But Barrios was getting fucking clipped by a 47-year-old. The fuck?
He was, man. He was Manny showed up, man. He was moving. That was what impressed me the most, man. He was moving and he was quick with it, He had
I talked a whole bunch of shit after seeing Manny in that exhibition against the kickboxer, and I do have to take that back. Manny looked better.
100%, exact same with me as well. I did not think he had that in him, but look, am I surprised that I felt wrong? Not that much at all. Because you look at his career and his history with fighting and with his sport, some things just stay. It's that saying that class is permanent.
And Manny's on all the peds in the world. Nobody's actually testing.
The great equalizer.
Nobody's testing Manning's sample. Overcoming.
That is prime.
Overcoming
That is
age.
not drug. That is not PEDs. That is prime Filipino greatness.
Okay, sure. He does have the Filipino calves gene. Manny's legs are fucking massive.
He's awesome, man. To be able to do that, can you imagine how many people's uncles would have started shadow boxing in the room thinking that they're next?
Yeah, no, I do get the storyline of it and everything else, but Mario Barrios should have won that fight and sent Pacquiao home.
He really should have,
didn't.
especially even he didn't even have to pull out a vintage performance or anything. If he just fought the way he fought against Ramos, he probably could get it done. But
if he just hadn't paused every time Manny took a step back and touched his stomach and was
yeah,
that's fucking bullshit that people don't even do in schoolyard fights. Come on, Barrios. His corner was yelling at him so much about that.
He probably just didn't want to get baited by anything.
I
So he
guess.
dropped so hard. He's like, oh, I'm not falling for this, you know?
That was garbage. All around, that was garbage. Manny Pacquiao still shouldn't be fighting for titles. He should not be ranked number 9 in the fucking rankings. If I was Esserman, I would be pissed. Like, I would be so fucking angry. Esserman kills Pacquiao. Like, I like Pacquiao and everything, but Esserman fucking kills him.
Ekau Esserman?
Yeah, he's ranked number 10, and Manny Pacquiao's ranked number 9.
In where?
Shit, which one is that? Is that The Ring, maybe? It was, I know I'm not making this up because I thought it was fucking ridiculous, but I don't know which belt does
WBC?
Barrios have? Maybe it's the WBC then. Let me check. WBC. No, must be Ring.
So many belts.
Wait, no. I'm at the wrong weight class. Give me a second. Might just be kind of stupid. No, it's the Ring. Pacquiao's ranked number 9 by the Ring. Esserman's number 10. And then Pacquiao's not on anyone else's rankings. Is that correct?
Interesting.
Well, he did say he was going to keep fighting. I would have imagined that they would put him into the rankings somewhere.
Nobody else has him in the rankings on Box Live.
Interesting.
But the Ring has him at number 9. Barrios is 8. Pacquiao's 9, Esserman is 10. And if I was Esserman, I would be fucking pissed. Because Ekau Esserman destroys Pacquiao in a fight.
I think there's a lot of cases on the rankings of that where I see guys who I think they'd beat someone that's above them.
Yeah, but this one's just worse than others.
All right, let's fucking keep it rolling because, like, I don't know. I feel like Mario
This
Barrios
is gonna
versus
be
Manny
an
Pacquiao.
all-time long episode.
I'll have to.
This is a
make it
Lin
work.
length episode.
Moving up.
Join the Patreon to see what was cut.
Yeah. Fucking Lawrence Okoli versus Kevin Lorena. That little dead air was more time than that fight deserves. Lawrence Okoli. I said I reserve the use of this term. Alexander Usyk is fucking special. KO5 over Daniel Dubois to reunify the division. This is a Mount Rushmore of heavyweight boxing that we're looking at.
I was defending that this was gonna be Usyk's hardest fight. It was not.
Yeah.
At all.
I expected better from Daniel Dubois.
I really did. I thought he was improved.
Yep. But now you're talking about that.
There has been some out of ring controversy around this fight. Did you guys hear about that?
I did not.
The party?
Yeah. Dubois was apparently partying the night before, and a bunch of not good, nothing super crazy. It's not like he is suspected of drug dealing or prostitution or any of that stuff, but he was partying real late, and he showed up at the venue really late, like he was only there an hour before the fight or something crazy.
Had to get extra sleep.
Getting back on track. Usyk is just fucking amazing. Usyk did Usyk stuff, just like I said Usyk would do. Nobody's beating the Ukrainian with the gap tooth smile. It's crazy.
He is so good. Just for someone his size and with his pedigree to have come from the weight divisions that he has, to have had the success he has as an amateur as well is just incredible. And that's just going through, his resume and how he got here. That's not even talking about the fundamentals of how he is as a boxer, which is just incredible as well. His movement, his understanding of range. It just doesn't seem to matter who they put in front of him stylistically. He just keeps finding answers. That's what's so impressive to me.
Which was basically my analysis before this fight. Usyk is going to do Usyk things.
That's what happened. Hold it.
All right. So, wherever you're listening, leave a follow or hit us with the follow, subscribe, whatever the fuck the button says. In the ladder of shit you can do to help us out, following is the easiest one. If you want to step it up, you can do a rating. If you're not feeling feeling like giving us a $5, then 833 Lux Pods. That's a direct number to me. Let me know what's up and give me a chance to fix it. Moving up is a review. I don't know, if you're feeling froggy and you want to talk about the show, then that would be really helpful. And last, and certainly not least, the Patreon. Fucking everyone has one, us included. If you want to check us out on Patreon, you get ad-free stuff, which, the ads have changed, as I'm sure you've noticed. So, what you can do, LVX Media Net on Patreon, that's the same as all the other social media shit. And last thing, want to get you involved in the conversation. Jacob, that you just heard, we know him from Discord, right? So lvx.be/Discord if you want to get yourself into the conversation. If you're an MMA head, there's a space for you. If you like baseball, basketball, any other sport you can think of, there's people to talk about it with. It's a good community. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, lvx.be/Discord. All right, gonna take a short break, and when we're back, some fucking news and rumors and shit. All right.
I have so much news and rumors, Leo. It's crazy.
This is a lot.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about all of it. But...
Yeah, just a little bit. Josh Taylor retires, citing eye problems. That's...
Yeah, I don't know how much I believe the eye problems, really, but I think Josh Taylor retiring is probably good timing.
I'm trying to think of a funny new one. Like rest in piss, you won't be missed. I don't know.
He's not that good.
Rest in muck, I don't give a fuck. I don't know. I think that's the best I can do for the time being.
Go drown in a bog, you hog. Just Scottish bogs. I don't know.
I don't know if whatever. I bungled this transition here. Bad segue.
We lost Jacob and we fell apart.
That's what makes a good segue, is that I say it's a bad one.
Yeah.
On the topic of crash outs, as if you do or do not know, the Kameda clan, for one, they're crashing out.
Has crashed the fuck out. It's been a little crazy.
What were they saying?
Okay, so this all started a couple days ago. Vom on the Discord is on Twitter, and I'm an Instagram whore. So the Kamedas don't have Instagram, so I didn't hear about any of this. But they have sued the JBC for discrimination against their fighters. Some sort of you're discriminating for no reason. I forget which exact fighter it was about, but they lost their shit during the who did Higa fight? Vasquez?
Antonio Vargas.
Vargas, sorry. Yeah, so during the Vargas Higa card, the Kamedas were actively crashing out on Twitter. saying they were suing the JBC and all this stuff. And they did list a specific fight and a fighter that the JBC was blocking for what they call discriminatory reasons. But then after that, somebody else, all in Japanese, was like, maybe this isn't the time. Like, maybe have your crash out after the big international fight that everybody is watching. And the Kamedas straight up just told them to fuck off. That was the whole tweet. They replied, "Fuck you, fuck off." And then they signed Casemiro.
Ew.
They signed John Real Casemiro, and I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just making everything worse. But the absolute worst news to me personally is that they also signed Kenneth Lover, who is the Filipino prospect I really like. And he should not be signing with the Kamedas. He should sign with someone so much better. He deserves a good fucking promotion. And like, the Kamedas are full crash out. Fuck the JBC. We're suing you. We're gonna have fights in Kazakhstan, and like, we're going international, which is, I guess, whatever. Sure. Like, yeah, I am sure the JBC is biased against Kameda fighters. Like, I do not doubt that for a second.
I don't either.
But a public fucking crash out and signing Casemiro is not the response you should be having, guys. What the fuck? Like, it's very much Japanese boxing politics drama, but this is drama enough that everyone is going to enjoy it if they look into it.
Speaking of crash outs, the guy who beat Galal Yafai gets a probation rematch ordered. So the PED he popped for was an over-the-counter energy supplement. So just some shit you get at GNC or whatever shop is near you.
Yeah.
Wow. He failed
But
for PEDs in his previous fight.
This is the rumors and news. So I gotta look up the exact dates. So this is Francisco Rodriguez Jr. He beat Josue Morales. He beat him, but it was turned to a no contest by the Texas Commission on... Oh, I misread this when I was making the news. It says no contest by the Texas Commission on January 6th because of PEDs. But then they let him fight Galal Yafai.
In Texas?
Where he... no, Yafai was in...
UK?
The UK, yeah. But they let him fight Yafai, and from what Eddie Hearn says, he had no idea that Rodriguez had popped in his previous test. So, he popped for PEDs in a fight, they didn't tell the other commission, and then he pops for PEDs again.
Yeah, well, Texas...
That's pretty shit.
Over a Mexican fighter... And then fighting in the UK, no surprise it slipped through the cracks. But what was the PED from the previous fight? Is that known?
It probably is. I don't know if I checked that.
Because I'm wondering if it's the same over-the-counter thing.
How do you spell Francisco Rodriguez, Texas PEDs? See what this gets me. So the thing is I don't know if anybody knew about this. Like, I don't know if it was public knowledge before the fight. Before the Yafai fight.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't, it should be. Okay. Francisco Rodriguez failed his drug test on December 15th, 2024, and was put on a 90-day suspension and was assessed a $500 administrative fine by the Texas Combative Sports Program. There is no world governing body in boxing, and the Texas Commission are not required to inform other commissions of the decision. This article doesn't say what he actually popped for in Texas. But, I mean, I don't think it really matters at this point. Or does it?
What I was thinking was, if it's the same supplement that got him popped the first time, then okay.
Why would he still be taking it, though? No, not okay. Then you know that you're gonna pop and you stop taking it. Like, that's worse, isn't it?
What I'm saying is, what if he popped for a steroid the first time? It would make me more skeptical of this OTC thing. No, that's a masking agent, is what I'm saying.
But
steroids
popping
versus
twice
for an energy supplement. Popping
twice
is not
in
good.
a row for the same thing is, I would argue, worse.
You think? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just
You've already gotten caught doing something. Like, stop doing it. Like, your second DUI is worse than your first one. If you get charged, I mean, this is a bad analogy, but if you get charged with, like a DUI and then driving without a license,
because you had
that's
a DUI.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was just thinking about steroids and how they mixed into the conversation.
Yeah, but if you get caught for steroids once, at least change the steroids. Like, come on.
Yeah, and that's what the OTC thing could be, is something to mask it, or like a diuretic.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't find everything that came up was this new one. But I do think it's a little ridiculous that he popped in Texas and the UK had no way to check if that, like... It feels like the boxing commission should talk a little more, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like, if you pop in Texas, the UK should know. And if you pop in Nevada, like, Mexico should know. I don't know.
Instead of forum shopping?
Yeah, instead of, like, pulling a Conor Ben or whatever.
Kangaroo court.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we went for a while on the damn reviews, and because of that, we're going to have to call it here.
Okay.
I think it actually works out nicely, because based on time, we got a lot of good chatter going, and there's nothing coming up. There's just nothing on the horizon.
Some of these news and rumors fit well with next podcast anyways. So
fun.
If you want to know what the other news and rumors are, tune in next week.
All right. Let me do the plug thing. You've been listening to Boxing Before Dark, a Lux Media production. If you are just dying to tell us how fucking casual you think we are, you can be a duck. You can text our anonymous line, 833-589-7637. If you want to stand on your business, call, leave a voice message, or send a voice note in WhatsApp. And if you're entertaining enough, you might make the final cut of the show. 833-LUX-PODS. If you prefer to hit us up on social media, the account name is LVXMediaNet, all one word. It's the same on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, and all the rest of that shit. If you can't find us, chances are we're not on it. If you want to get yourself hooked up with the ad-free versions of the episodes and help us out a little bit in the process, look us up on Patreon, LVXMediaNet. It's over there just like everywhere else. Even if you don't sign up on Patreon, you can still help us out by checking out our ad sponsors. You can also help by giving us a rating and a review on whatever app you're listening on. And don't forget, shop.lvx.be if you want to snag some threads. Intro and outro music by Middle of Nowhere Beats, and for more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lvxmedia.net. We got new ads. and
Oh, did we?
they're not very
That's
good.
exciting. Oh.
They're not ones.
Why? What's
I'm
wrong
not-
with them?
I'm not like it's not product testimonials from me anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's automated shit, and like man, some of it like one of them was for a law firm, another one was for power tools. Like, the fuck is this? Well, if you don't want to hear those, you're gonna have to go to Patreon.
Have to go to Patreon.
God damn, because they're fucking rough. We got to get paid.
Fair enough,
dog. This
but
shit ain't
Leo,
free.
I was gonna say you have to get paid for your equipment and shit.
Yeah,
So.
that's kind of what it is. So if you don't want to hear those, Patreon shit sucks to suck, dog.
Yeah.
Parting words. I just said mine.
Sucks to suck.
No,
Rude.
if you don't want those law firm ads or fucking power tools or whatever other nonsense they have in the rotation, yeah, you're gonna have to go
Fair
to
enough.
Patreon. Sorry.
My parting words. Well, I actually have two parting unrelated things. I went to Ryzen.
Yeah, how was
God
that?
damn. It was so much fun. The production value at Ryzen was crazy. It was at that Cinema Arena,
Yeah.
which is made for concerts and shit. The pyrotechnics, the visuals, everything was on point. It was great. The backstory videos were also great. There were 18 fights, 19
Wow.
fights, I think. It was a fucking long day. All that was great, except I don't like the fights as much as boxing. So everything was great, except the actual fights. But
How did your Japanese practice pan out?
no one engaged.
Even
So-
when you like asked in proper Japanese,
Yeah.
like, who is this person? And they're like, eat shit,
they-
foreigner.
Well, they were polite, but also clearly not interested in talking with me. So I asked a direct question, and they answered, but made it very clear they didn't want me to talk to them again. So I didn't. So that was fine. Also, the fucking food sold out so fast.
Wow.
I waited in line for an hour to get beer and chicken and fries, and they sold out of chicken and fries 2 people ahead of me.
Wow.
So then I waited in line for a half hour again, and when I got to the front, they also had no food. So I drank 5 beer and ate no food. Fight started at 11 a.m. and they ended at 10 p.m. So,
You had a marathon of fucking fights.
fucking no food was my problem. But yes, yeah, it was fun. I'm glad I went. I probably wouldn't go by myself again. If I had a friend who wanted to go, I would definitely be down. But there was a couple crazy call-outs in the ring. Or, like, okay, my 2 favorite Ryzen gossip, I guess. So there's the guy who's a huge simp for the maid cafe lady, or I don't think it's a maid cafe, but like the hostess lady.
Mhm.
Do you know who I'm talking about,
Yeah,
Leo?
I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
man. Yeah. So he was fighting a dad with 2 kids, and the dad's video was his kids crying the last time he lost. And I was cheering for the dad, and he won the first 2 rounds very clearly, and then got knocked the fuck out in the 3rd round. And I don't care if this guy impresses the lady he's paying money to talk to him, because she's going to talk to him again later anyways. Like, as long as he pays
Yeah.
money, she's there. So I was cheering against him. And the dad brought his kids in, and he gave his retirement speech, and the kids were crying in the ring again. That made me really sad.
Oh.
There was a fighter whose whole background video was pachinko, and he walked out to pachinko music and like the bonus videos of his favorite pachinko games. There was a different guy who his whole thing was hunting. So it was him hunting and butchering deer and shit, and then eating them as part of his training.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of fun, actually. I like hunting. And then my favorite thing that happened was there was a guy came into the ring for a call out. And he was wearing a super nice kimono, but he didn't have it on properly. He had the one arm out so that like half of it draped off him, kind of like a toga. And then you could see all his Yakuza tattoos.
Oh, shit.
But the funniest part was the guy he was calling out was in a white dress shirt and black slacks with a black ball cap and looked like a fucking like middle school baseball coach. It was great. I loved all of it. But
the pageantry.
Fucking tension was there. They kept showing him on the screen. I booed 3 times. So fuck tension.
Yes,
Awful.
it's better when things are more relaxed.
I hate him so much. But my actual parting words, and I know this is going too long, but tomorrow I get to meet Seiya Tsutsumi.
Party.
There's a Punch Burger meetup at a burger joint that he likes. So he is a waiter for one day at, I think it's called Jessica 7. It's either Jessica or Jennifer 7 is the name of the restaurant. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to fangirl out and try not to embarrass myself too badly. But my goals are an autograph and a picture together.
What are you going to get him to sign?
I am going to take the big banner, I think. That'll be fun. And
that'll be funny. I want to see his reaction to that.
Yeah, I want to see what he says to that too. And then I am also just going to take a book where I collect all the free stamps you can get around Japan. Because I think his autograph in that book would be a really good souvenir as well. Absolutely. So if I can only get one signature, it'll be on the banner. But if he'll sign 2 things, I'm going to get him to sign both.
I think he will. I think he'll sign both for you.
He probably will. Yeah. This is very low key. Like, you don't need a reservation or anything. It's not super well advertised. He's been putting up posts on Instagram. Is, as far as I can tell, it. That's so cool. Excited. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm gonna make an ass of myself. I've been practicing my Japanese all week, and I'm gonna get flustered and fuck it up and just speak English by accident.
And then he'll give you like a simpering sort of smile, sign your thing, and then like chivvy you along.
Yeah. I won't fuck up the Japanese for picture because that's easy.
Yeah, but that would be cool.
Just thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed talking to you guys, and hopefully I find the time in between sparring and everything to pop on some other time.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on. It was really cool. See you guys.
Bye. All right. That's it for this edition of fucking Boxing Before Dark. My batteries are
It's so long, guys.
We'll see how much of this survives the cutting room floor. All right, we're out of here.
Bye.